is a topic about some aspects of gender equality and ethics within artificial intelligence, but also within domains closely related to artificial intelligence. As you can see, there are a lot of topics I'm going to present, but probably I will skip some of them because I have a wrong approach to preparation to presentations and always prepare too much slides. So, as Dragana said, and as I suppose that the majority of you is in this field, or similar fields, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and so on are incredibly developing in the last period, let's say last 10 years, but probably more than that, especially concerning artificial intelligence. And a lot of higher education institutions introduce different studies, some of them master studies in AI, but also there are other opportunities for studying. What is in fact the gender and differences between gender between men and women? In fact, it should offer the state of equal ease of assess different resources and offer different opportunities for different aspects of life, especially when we here concentrate on professional life, regardless the gender and inclusion in different areas. This gender equality is not important only for women, but it is generally important for whole society, where women and men enjoy the same opportunities, rights, and duties and obligations. During the presentation, I will use several sources with different statistical information and graphical presentations. One of them I mostly use is a Global Gender Gap Index issued by World Economic Forum, and it is some sort of annual benchmark concentrated and focuses on evaluation of gender parity across these four important dimensions: economic, educational, health, and political. And the usual measure they use is a scale between 0 and 100. And as one country is as close to 100, that means that they are very close to cover this parity between gender gap. Starting from 2006, they also considered gender gap related to artificial intelligence. And here is global gender gap index for last year. And you can see some highly developed countries like Iceland, Norway, Finland, and so on, with very high measure. It means equality is almost the same between men and women. And I selected here Serbia as my origin country, and at the end of the list is Afghanistan. So there are the differences, of course, between countries and between different regions. How it is possible, and what would be some policies or some steps to make gender equality as possible, as much as possible. There are some directions. First of all, one of suggestions is to try to make education gender sensitive. But it is, of course, not is always easy, and there are a lot of efforts to be done to achieve this and to promote positive stereotypes and promote positive aspects of both genders. Then that second direction or issue is rise aspirations of girls and their parents. That is a classical, let's say, topic when we talk generally about gender equalities or non-equalities within technological domains, science, and so on. So we need, in fact, to organize in a society, in our environments, such behavior that girls imagine and have role models that are good enough to motivate them to continue with careers in this area. Also, known fact within other technical domains and professions is there that women are usually unpaid for the same jobs as comparing to men. So it is also the situation in this area, and also to work into direction to raise awareness of the existence of the gender inequalities in societies. For example, I'm also not so aware about this inequality because in my small micro environment, I do not feel such situations. So it is not the case generally, and it is important to work on these aspects. Second topic will give some elements within artificial intelligence areas. So we are witnesses that AI is integrating in our life every day and rapidly influence our everyday activities, starting from automating different tasks and services, further augmenting human capabilities to make new, better, more functional, and so on services and products. And further, we have to use to live in such environment and learn how to behave and how to live in a near future, but also in a future. There is and there are some elements which are connected to legal and ethical aspects, and I will talk a little bit about them later. But also, it is important to think in advance to risks and benefits which brings artificial intelligence and systems, but also to introduce appropriate regulatory, legal, and ethical documents and generally define those aspects as well. There is, of course, there are a lot of definitions of artificial intelligence starting from middle of last century, when in fact some first steps of artificial intelligence and development in this area started. But this is one definition proposed by Organization of Economic for Economic Cooperation and Development, adopted also by G20 and European Commission. And of course, we are also aware that it is machine-based system still, which possess a set of human defined objectives and which are able, such systems and machines, to make predictions, recommendations, to influence maybe better, in majority of cases, better decisions, influencing not only real but also virtual environments, and with some specific topics like perceive and analyze real the virtual environments, abstract such perception into models, and also use model interpretation to formulate different options for outcomes of AI systems, which is closely related to explainable artificial intelligence. Sorry, I always trying to say a lot of things, so maybe I am too fast. Also, here is one diagram. I will not go into details, but there are a lot of challenges, a lot of methods, and some important communities connected to AI and the application of AI in different systems and environments. Concerning evolution of AI, we in a past through three main industrial revolutions, and now we are witnesses of fourth one, which completely changes our perception of world, even changes the face of humanity. And as I said, we have to learn how, when, what to do in the future with AI and effects of it on our lives. In this book of that author, he explains four different phases of AI evolution, and we will briefly present them. First stage is so-called Internet AI, which is characterized by development of algorithms, growth of different algorithms, establishment of recommendation engines, and personalization of content, which is usually presented or used in different circumstances and environments. The second stage is so-called business AI, where we still have a boost of algorithms which are trained with a wide range of data and data sets, different data sets, in order to improve decision making in business areas and decisions in business environments. The third stage is called perception AI, and it is in fact merges the digital and the physical world, and we are surrounded with a lot of sensors, with a lot of smart devices, and we are living in a more or less, or majority of developed countries in smart environments, which not only smart homes, but smart cities, smart hospitals, and other areas. And the fourth stage is called autonomous AI, and the characteristic of this stage is integration of, in fact, all previous elements, which enables machines to somehow have a sense and respond and interact more intuitively with the world around us, in fact, around these domains where we use AI systems. And here are two maybe characteristic examples: autonomous vehicles, which is one of also very popular area in AI. And this is maybe also our reality, but probably will be very effective in the near future for recruiting, developing systems or autonomous agents, intelligent agents for recruiting employees in some areas. Artificial intelligence also incorporates and includes so-called intelligent agents or autonomous agents, which represent, which started to develop, I think maybe more than 30 years ago, constantly improving behavior and characteristics of such systems. So they have used in different environments and help people in different and wide range of tasks. And additional characteristics, not to going too much into details what are characteristics of software intelligent agents, but they can behave autonomously without any supervision of humans, and also are or seemed, especially for people who are not in whose profession is not in informatics and computer science and artificial intelligence, that they can think and behave almost as human beings. There are a lot of autonomous agents and implementations of such systems based on generative AI, and all of you know of ChatGPT and different other versions. So I just mentioned here from some source of literature 5 best autonomous AI agents. Auto GPT, which is in fact interface between these two versions, then Baby AGI, which is also used to automatically create, execute, and prioritize different subtasks in real time. Then Agent GPT to build and deploy autonomous agents via web browsers. Then Super AG sorry, or I autonomous agent framework, which enable developers to build and merge and manage autonomous agents together. And the smallest, not smallest, smaller implementation of GPT, which can be used for some basic tasks or performing some simpler tasks. Gender bias and AI. We also are witnesses of existence of a lot of different smart assistants, among them probably widely known Siri, Alexa, or if you pronounce it in Serbian, let's say it could be Alexa, which is in fact a man name. So in these implementations, they are women, and later we will also notice this fact and a little bit explain possible effects of that and the possible directions of development. There are some examples of AI applications, other also connected to personalization, recommendations, and so on. And also use AI in different areas. It is almost um, let's say impossible to find any area where AI and the services from AI will not help in achieving maybe better or more reasonable results. Also connected somehow to gender equality or non-equality are career paths in artificial intelligence, and there are mentioned some professions in AI domain which are top career paths in recently and nowadays. And here you can notice that a lot of them are connected to data mining, machine learning, big data, processing, computer vision, user experience design, natural language processing, and so on. Further, we who are somehow researchers or involved in development of some of AI systems are aware of fact that AI is growing very fast, but maybe general people with other background, not in ICT and this domain, notice higher development of AI and use of AI, but maybe not have a feeling of so fast and rapid development. Unfortunately, evolution of AI did not get benefits, more benefits for women, and we will see again. Yeah, I mention later some statistics and it seems more as a curse than blessing for women in current state of societies, development of society. In that report published in 2019 from UNESCO, they published the fact that only 12% of AI researchers and 6% of professional software developers are women. 20% is connected to researchers because later we will have some other percentages. Also, I suppose that a lot of you know that fact when we compare some natural sciences and computer sciences and bachelor's degree, then it is we can notice that women, in fact, earn smaller number of degrees within the last 30 years. And this curve constantly is decreasing, while in some other areas they are, let's say, constant or even had some increase in the past. So it is unfortunately a situation. What can we do, and what are future and the further directions where definitely we expect that smart machines will take a more place and more significant role in our life. From my point of view, even it is maybe not difficult to imagine such situation, but I'm a little bit scary about the future concerning wider use of artificial intelligence. So some big players and stakeholders in this area recognize this, let's say, kind of danger, and try to do something to make some maybe proper balance, or somehow directed development in this area on benefits for human society. I mentioned this fact about research in AI and machine learning research, that only 12% are women, and one of possible suggestions how to resolve this situation is to try to attract women, and to try to make teams which works on different AI solutions, to include more women, and with the idea that diverse teams with different views on the same problem and same situation will be more productive, and produce um, maybe more gender balance solutions. We will again see some of them later. Again, concerning gender bias and the AI, there are some facts. For example, again, this global gender gap index consider the LinkedIn data in 2023 years, and concluded and concluded, in fact, based on research, that women are significantly underrepresented in STEM domains, which is again, I think, well-known fact. But some percentages say that almost 50% of total employment across non-STEM occupations, which is a good percentage, but only around 30% for all STEM workers. Also, some a little bit worrying fact is that for AI, talent availability increasing 7 times in this period for 6 years, and representation of women in AI was incomparable lower, because it increases only 4 percentages in the same period. How address this imbalance? Again, some possibilities, some of them I mentioned, is to try to increase diversity in teams which are working on developing and implementation of a range of AI systems. Also, important fact is revision and consideration data sets which are used for training AI models. Later, I will also talk about that in more details, and also ensure AI systems to be more transparent and explainable. Also, here you can see one graphic where we have men and women presented in different occupations, and also you can notice that starting from that let's say, social, cultural, financial environments, and so on, that women are more women more participated in these occupations. But when we go into other aspects like marketing, sales, and especially engineering, data, and AI, cloud computing, and so on, then participation of women is rapidly decreasing. Also, we know that a lot of people use generative AI models even in everyday activities to support part of their tasks. And again, here on this graph, you can see what jobs are in fact highly threatened by AI. Also, they are in majority of cases jobs where women are dominant. So again, seems that the use of AI services and possibilities highly negatively influence jobs for women, and maybe percentages will be even worse in future and in a near future. What are the themes of contributing factors and approaches for addressing gender bias in AI? We can see here again what are the main contributing factors for gender bias. They include a lack of diversity of training data. Data for training models are especially important, and of nature and quality of data, we will get behavior of models, then existence of classical gender stereotypes that women are not so good in technical and science domains. Also bias in data due to economic factors, and also, bias in data in algorithms, economic factors, and some others. So, continuing with the consideration of influences of AI on everyday jobs and activities, again, we can see a diagram how often with representing results on a question, how often do you use generative AI at work, and again comparing women and men. And you can also see that men usually use daily, multiple times per week, weekly. But if we consider month-long periods, or even situation that never use AI services, then women are dominating. It means again that women do not use so much as men facilities and functionalities that generative AI can offer. How to promote gender diversity? We consider some aspects, but let's extend them now. Support STEM education, it is well known and a long-lasting effort. And one of possibilities is to try to avoid false stereotypes from childhood that girls are not so skilled in math and science as boys, and further at some higher level of education or even of lower level to introduce some curricular STEM education possibilities. Also, to showcase female AI trailblazers or leaders or successful women in science and business and general in a society which work in these areas like AI, machine learning, data mining, and similar areas. And accordingly or connected with that, to have mentors, women for leadership roles. Also create different but equal opportunities for both genders and finally, but not generally available directions is gender equality reward system. We mentioned that previously, and also try to pay girls as close as men, and still in AI area, for example, men earn 20% more than women for considering some statistics. I mentioned that data are important, but also connected to data and data sets, algorithms are very, very important, and algorithmic bias is something that should be considered. Within machine learning, in fact, artificial intelligence is not only machine learning, but machine learning, data mining are very influential areas and very frequently used in processing different data sets and data sources. So special attention should be paid to those algorithms and possible sources of algorithmic bias in AI solutions and services. For example, whatever causes unfair action or representation that often leads to harm. We can different examples and different possibilities, but here is one example which is connected again with the machine learning system, which could easily learn the rule, appropriate rule for from hiring history, from historical data sets. If, for example, company has only employed male programmers, and if they included in their algorithms, for example, something like that, if major is computer science and gender is male and grade is greater than 3, then print job offer letter, again in opposite case delete application. So using frequently such situations and historical data from data sets, models, trained models will let's say wrongly behave in new data on new data sets, and it should be resolved somehow. Of course, this is the consequence of human engineering in this area and writing algorithms in training different models. So we have as AI community or different AI stakeholders to take a special care about creation and collection of training data, trying to collect the data in such a way to avoid bias. Also, we know that data sets contain data characterized by different features, and also selection of features or characteristics among the data are very important because selecting one subset of features and not consider some other subset can also lead to different biases, and also connected to prediction and classification of what we would like to predict by our models and our solutions. Now I will present three examples. The second one especially I like especially because I feel absolutely like it is explained in this example, but start with the first one. The first generation of airbags in cars killed more women and children than it saved them. What was the reason? The reason was that engineering team which work on developing these airbags was male only, and they created, in fact, and tested airbags having in mind average male body. So this is that bias, that difference. Not difference, that unique look at the problem and not have a wider opinion and some other, let's say, opinion. The second example I like very much because I always feel like that. Women are usually complaining of being cold in offices, especially during summer. What is again the reason? The reason is algorithm that regulates temperature, and it was developed in 60s, again having in mind male wearing a suit. So some algorithmic effects are definitely important, and based on algorithms and data sets, they make appropriate decisions, which are usually are not acceptable for both genders. And the last example is that algorithms of employment in a LinkedIn platform have been also gender biased, and often shows the high-priced jobs more frequently to men than women. Why? The reason is again that more men were initially, in fact, looking for highly paid jobs. So algorithms learn to that historical search of jobs and behave in this way, which is probably again the consequence of the fact that in computer science area men are more self-confident than women. Again, maybe the reason is that inequality which starts to be showed, and we are aware from our childhood. That was about algorithms. What about the training data? We usually use some historically collected data, which also captures bias and unfairness that is existing in society. And it affects training algorithms and final models and behavior of models. For example, here we can see that in some cases, marginalized communities are over policed, so there is more data about search, arrests, that leads to predictions of more of the same behavior and effects. So historically collected data influence models and their conclusions. In a case of historical data, we will not achieve any more success in training models if we add more training data, because that again gives more historical bias. What is then the better solution? The better solution is to try to make the bias affect non-training data, and to say to have a representational bias sample in training data is skewed and not representative of entire possible population. But if we add some more representative data, which are complementary to, or let's say, original data, then we can, in a majority of cases, improve quality of models. So, for example, here we have a fact that facial recognition system is trained on photographs of faces where 80% of faces are white and 75% of those are male. So again, if we keep only this data set or similar data sets, then we will not achieve better results. So it is good to add diverse and more representative data in improving them. I talked about features, so I can skip this slide. Again, I mentioned previously that 20% of AI researchers are women, 6% software developers, but also fact is that 13 times they less involved in patents, ACT patents than men. What is also the paradoxical finding? We probably, or general society probably, expect that countries with higher gender equality, which exists in a majority of European countries, have the fewest women with advanced skills necessary for careers in technology, including, of course, also artificial intelligence. But countries with lower level of gender equality, here is Arab region, but there are also some other regions, have a largest percentage of women which finish or obtain advanced technology degrees. And here I would like to mention, probably you know about RoboCup, which is a competition of robot footballers, footballer teams, which happened yearly, and the different teams all over the world compete in playing football with their robots. I'm not sure how much years before, how many years ago it happened, probably 7, 8 years, that winner was the team from Iran, which was consisted only of women. So in some regions, women are more included and more motivated to study also computer science, artificial intelligence, and so on. Concerning again some recommendations on gender and UNESCO recommendations, I mentioned that some well-known agent assistants are projected as female, also including a name, sound, voice, personality, and so on. But women also tend to be more objectified in AI because they are perceived as more with a more humanist behavior, more warmer, more emotional, and so on. Maybe it is the main reason for developing such assistants in a form of females. But Equals Skills Coalition is critical and growing global to growing that global practice to have female generated voice assistants, and they suggested to try to resolve such situation because it can influence even worse positions of women again, which reflects and reinforce the spread of gender bias as well, maybe unexpectedly, but it is the effect. Also sends messages about how women should respond to request and express themselves, and also make women the face of errors for some products and some results which are in fact developed predominantly by men. Again, teams of men developing different AI services. So recently appears some other solutions, starting from IBM, who actively started to promote gender inclusive leadership in AI, and in 2021 recognize women leadership in AI. Also, feminist internet company created a chatbot, so-called FXI, and in order to raise awareness about bias, which is inherited from AI systems, and created this solution having in consideration or considering different races, genders, gender identities, and different ways of thinking. So it is some mixture of differences which brings a new product which is not so biased. Also, it is interesting. You can try to listen. I will not take time now to start it, but Project Q, which has a gender neutral voice, and which is in fact gender neutral voice assistant. It is when you start it, you are not sure from time to time whether you hear men or women or what is the voice in fact. What are the further consequences of AI automation and women? We talked about a lot of algorithms and influences of them, and they are in fact in the heart of a lot of applications nowadays. And what we can expect in the future, more integration of automation and AI in our everyday lives. In fact, we are facing such situations also nowadays, but it will be much it will be more present in the future. What is the reality? Most of the people working on algorithms are men. Also, a lot of data and algorithms reflect bias presented in our societies and our environments, and it, in fact, reinforcing the bias and stereotypes towards women, which again influence depriving women of accessing the same opportunities as their male colleagues and collaborators. Difference between AI and automation, I'm sure all of us are aware. Automation is usually connected to robots or machines which can support everyday manually activities or everyday routine activities in jobs, but AI is a more quality approach and use again different intelligent algorithms and behavior to produce more effective decision making and smarter decisions, but also the goal is to get machines to think flexibly, to understand how to sort through data and identify the important from not important information. So, in fact, the final effects are to achieve such AI systems which behave like human beings. It is not nowadays reality, but maybe it can be something in the future. Again, how AI and automation influence the jobs, and nearly 80% of women jobs are at risk from generative AI. We saw previously on some slides jobs which are more in risk of use of generative AI and automation. And also a lot of people are fear of losing their jobs all over the world, and again, as a consequence of these approaches. There was performed one research. The link for more information is on the bottom of the slide. And they try consider how AI influence different occupations, of course, but they asked ChatGPT and human beings to recognize more to recognize occupations which will be more influenced by generative AI and general AI systems, and using ChatGPT and human experiences, result is following. The 80% of US workers could have at least 10% of their work task affected by GPT. and different similar tools. Also, if we consider exposed jobs of AI, then around 90% of workers would see at least 50% of their task impacted by AI, and fully exposed jobs Chat GPT could save works, means a significant amount of time completing a large share of their tasks. And based on these considerations, human beings labeled only 15 occupations as fully exposed, while the language model labeled 86 fully exposed jobs. So the difference is significant. And again, the dangers that artificial intelligence will highly influence our society concerning jobs, economics, and so economical aspects, and so on, is great and could be negative, and also could be dangerous. There are some occupations that humans found were 100% exposed by AI. Mathematicians, tax preparers, financial domain, writing domain, web design, and so on. And also some other occupations listed by humans are mentioned here: survey researchers, writers, and authors, interpreters, and translators, and so on. And approaching to the final part of the presentation, we are now aware of different aspects and different opportunities, possibilities, bit positive, also negative, and so on. And question which is into consideration for probably more than 10 years, more than that, is focused on ethical aspects of AI. And I will briefly present two results of two researchers and two surveys. World Economic Forum in 2016 issued 9 ethical elements connected to AI. First of all, unemployment and what happens after the end of jobs. The question is how people, in fact, after losing jobs, are going to spend their time, and how they have to be prepared to learn how to contribute to society. Another aspect is increasing inequality, which is created by using of AI and machines. And the main point is here that owners of AI driven companies will make all the money, and the gap between rich and poor population will be wider and wider. Also, how do machines affect our behavior and interaction from the point of humanity? Human beings has their wrong phases in life, can be nervous, can show their bad mood, and so on. But AI bots are better. They're probably not probably, but absolutely sure, more patient in conversation, and maybe it is more attractive for majority of population because of their kindness and good way of conversation. So it also can affect a lot of jobs, services, and so on. Also, artificial intelligence is stupid. We all know that nowadays, of course, it is based on processing huge amounts of data and trying to catch patterns and interrelations between those data. And we are not sure how they will behave in situations when some mistakes appears. For example, a couple of days ago, some colleagues sent me a paper which is definitely written, supported by AI models, where some parts are explanations that used AI tool is not able to answer this question. So authors did not read paper carefully and did not notice such stupid things. The question is what will happen if such papers, if they get if they appear more and more in official journals and the official official publishers, and if they start to learn using such wrong facts and documents. So it is very risky domain and area. Also, robots are trained on different data sets, and again, we can train them on data sets which will learn them to make conclusions, very narrow conclusions and wrong conclusions. Again, we have here example of racial sensitivity and the software which can recognize criminals based on racial sensitivity and data sets collected with some marginalized communities. Also, security is very important. Privacy, security, and cybersecurity is another extremely important area, but it will get more and more important. Also, what and how to prevent evil behavior of and consequences of AI systems. For example, if we ask, for example, imagine if we ask AI system to eradicate cancer in the world, maybe the computer and the system can conclude that the solution, one of possible solution, is killing everyone. Yeah, of course, it is at the moment is not reality, but who knows how future AI systems will reason and behave. And one of last points here is how control complex intelligent systems. For example, human dominance in world is based on their ingenuity and intelligence. And the question is if we will reach the so-called point of singularity, the point when human beings are no longer be the most intelligent individuals on Earth. If AI maybe get more intelligent. There is one movie, Ex Machine, or I think that is a title. I suggest to, if you did not looked at this movie, to look at it. It is very, very interesting and is devoted to AI and the previous point. And also, if we get such point or nearly such point and have robots and autonomous agents in our everyday life, the question is about their rights, their legal points, ethical points, and so on. And finally, conclusion of this investigation could be that AI, of course, has a high potential, but its responsible implementation is up to us, up to human beings. And the really last part is again connected to legal and ethical considerations of AI. Produced in last year. More or less some elements appears like in a previous report, but there are also some new elements. Job displacements and unemployment rate is very important and should be seriously considered. New element, new comparing to previous report, but generally it's not new, about privacy, about data collection, how they are collected, processed, stored, and so on. We are all aware of the fact that a lot of data are collected about us that we maybe know, maybe no, but in majority of cases, probably we are not aware of that. Also about bias and use of data sources and avoiding discriminatory practices. I mentioned also explainable artificial intelligence, but explainability is here is important to understand decision-making processes of AI services and tools which are used in different decisions. Also, accountability and responsibility is AI is present in almost all industries, and decisions can lead to some negative outcomes, and it is a question how to treat them and who is responsible for such results. Also, appearance of deep fakes, which are able to override security measures. Here is an example that Microsoft API was tricked more than 75% of time using easily generated deep fakes. Further misinformation and existence of wrong information also can damage reputation of different communities and people, and the AI tools may be trained in this way to spread misinformation. Further exploitation of intellectual property and property rights. There is a fact that some popular writers accuse OpenAI and sued them that they use their content to train algorithms which is connected to intellectual property. Also, maybe possibility to loss of social connection. Again, we know that personalization and personalized experiences and services which offer us personalized content can cause that some communities, social and socially connected, lost real information and live in a very close community with where are people with similar attitudes and behavior. Also, balancing ethics with competition is very important because companies try to deliver new technologies as soon as possible, comparing to other competitive companies, so do not take enough time to consider ethical aspects and to take appropriate security measures. There are a lot of open questions. There are a lot of elements to be considered, and a lot of countries are working on these aspects. So I will conclude only just with these last two points that from a technical point of view, AI has and will have tremendously improving our lives, but it can be controlled. But on the other hand, social and from a social and more human standpoint and point of view, AI has not helped women nor their role in society, as I hope we saw in a previous presentation.